I know. It's been a year. I kind of forgot about the podcast a little bit until I rewatched the first episode again and noticed how cringe it was. I'm sorry for that, and thank you for 44 views on that episode. Thank you to the 44 of you that still watched it, even though the first line was really cringe. But now, from now on, it's going to be educational, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be with people because if I'm alone, it may turn into cringe again. So, without further ado, let's start off with the podcast. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chain Series podcast, the most originally named podcast on the entire World Wide Web. The measure of intelligence is your ability to change. Albert Einstein. Today's episode with change is one that's about bringing change in society, to raise awareness about ongoing issues and atrocities that need to be undone from the very fabric our communities are laid upon, and most importantly, to give a voice to Gen Z journalists to exhibit their point of view. Without further ado, let me introduce our guest for today. Our guest today is a young, established author already having published 2 books, which makes it 2 more than I have read. She's the founder of the Informed Inquirer, an Instagram page that we'll hear about shortly. She's a full-time feminist and an incoming freshman at NYU Abu Dhabi, which basically means she's really smart too. Please allow me to welcome Malavika Rajesh. Malvika, first of all, welcome to the Chain Series podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here. It's so exciting to be here.
Cool. So let's just get on with the questions. Malvika, tell the viewers about your amazing Instagram page, which I'm a big fan of, by the way, and what it stands for.
First off, thank you so much. And I am the founder of a youth-led media organization. It is called the Informed Inquirer. It used to be called the Indian Inquirer, but we recently changed our name now. So what it basically stands for is we want to promote Gen Z journalism, and we want to we want to bridge the gap between Gen Z and political awareness, because a lot of what I noticed when I was looking around and when I was interacting with my peers was that many people weren't really that invested in global issues, or they weren't really that invested in political awareness. So it is really crucial that we are all aware of everything that's going on in the world nowadays, because it affects each one of us personally and very deeply. So that is why I started this, to bridge that sort of information gap and to bring information to Instagram and to promote journalism along with that.
Yeah, I mean, frankly honest, it's so hard to find good news and real news and news to the point, quick, so really the Informed Inquirer, or previously known as Indian Inquirer, it really helped me a lot, made me really aware of issues. So thank you so much for creating it. So what would be the change you would like to bring about through your page?
Drawing from my earlier point, the change that I would really like to see is more and more young people being invested in global issues, in regional issues, and just issues around them, and being more aware about what is going on in their communities. Because I think we don't realize right now that we as young people, we hold so much power to actually change things, to actually bring about some sort of transition in the status quo. So I think the change that I would like to see is people being the change that they would like to see. I don't know, that's a bit of a confusing thought, but being the change that other people would like to see in themselves, in their communities. That's what I would like.
Amazing, man. That's amazing. So, I mean, any journey of change and and anytime someone wants to bring about change in themselves or in society, there are many obstacles they face and stuff. So what were the the obstacles or hurdles you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Actually, honestly speaking, I didn't have to face a lot of obstacles because thankfully I had a very great support system. And even I started the Informed Inquirer on my own. It was just me starting it. But then there were so many people who were ready to come on board. There are so many people in my team who supported me throughout and who supported every change that I wanted to make, who put out articles even at 12 a.m. in the morning and everything. Everybody was so on board, so energized. But maybe obstacles that we face, any change maker faces, I guess, is self-doubt, because you have that sort of thought, like, am I actually doing something good here, or is this actually going to reach people, or how are people going to respond to this? So to that, like, how I overcame those, one was obviously by having a great support system in the form of my team, and the second was by believing that if it was important to me and if it was important to my team and we were able to convey it well, then other people would find it important as well. That sort of self-doubt, because of the support system and because of our own beliefs, we were able to sort of cross that bridge and land on the other side.
Self-doubt, yeah, that's one thing everyone's facing today. One thing that I faced when I started the Change Series podcast, and that's why I put out one episode and then legit went lull for a year. Like, this is the first episode of the Change Series podcast after a year.
No, but you're just getting started. Yeah, you're just getting started. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to people like you, you inspire people to bring about change, and even this podcast is, to let people know and to give people inspiration to change. So I know the change that you plan to bring is huge, affecting all Gen Z audience, making them aware and reaching a bigger audience and the biggest possible audience. And I know there's a long way ahead, but how would you describe your journey up to now? If you could mention one key takeaway from it for the users.
One key takeaway, there are a lot of takeaways, but the one key takeaway is probably that people can surprise you. Even sometimes people who I did not expect to be so supportive turned out to be incredible, and just always interacting with our content, always ready to help, ready to come on board, and it's a positive one. It's people can surprise you, not shock you, not in the negative way, but yeah, people can surprise you in a very positive way. So even if you think that you have no support around, or that people are not listening to you, to what you want to say, you're wrong, because there is a whole ecosystem that is waiting to support you, that is waiting to listen to you, to just support whatever you have to say and what you have to do. So whatever you're going to do, whatever sort of change that you want to make, just dive in head first and just go into it, because it is guaranteed that if the change is for something good, I think I need to mention that explicitly. Yeah. If it is for something good, there will be people who will be there to help you out. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a big point that I have to mention. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're approaching the conclusion of our episode, and we have this last segment is tips for change. So a last question would be, what tips would you give the viewers who do want to bring change in themselves and society? Kind of repetitive, but then
no, I feel like my answers also would be repeating myself. But yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. And it's honestly something that I haven't found a concrete answer to myself, because, there are so many other people who are creating this massive amount of change, and we are just starting out. The Informed Inquirer is just starting out in our own small community. We haven't gone beyond that yet. We're hoping to, but not yet. We will reach there. Tips would be, like I said before, just to dive in head first. And because I really am passionate about Gen Z journalism, I think for people who would be interested in that area, what I would like to say is just keep writing, keep speaking, keep listening, because everyone can be a journalist. You know, you can be a journalist, I can be a journalist, our parents can be journalists. We are all citizen journalists. So just be aware. You know, look out for what is happening in your own communities, what is happening in the world, because even what is happening at that level, at the highest level, it can have ripple effects and come down to you and affect your own personal decisions as well. So just be politically aware, just be aware of everything that is happening, look out for opportunities and grab them so that you can actually do your own bit for your community.
Okay, that was amazing. That was such an amazing answer. Thank you for the tips. I will use them myself too. One last question is, like, how do you manage to do so much? Like you run the Informed Inquirer, you've written 2 books, you're a freshman at NYU, incoming freshman. How do you manage to do so much, man? You should be doing more with your life, man. How do you manage to do so much, man?
You know what, time management is not something that, I mean, you know, you should ask my parents. They'll say that I have one of the worst time management skills ever. So time management is not exactly my this thing. But I think you just need to prioritize, because if you decide that, okay, today, like putting out a post today on this particular issue is very important to me, then if you actually prioritize it, you will find time for it. Like, I'm not going to say that everybody has the same 24 hours a day. I know that's a very common thing that is said by everyone. Yeah, everyone has the same 24 hours a day. Look what people are doing with it, because there are a lot of different things that can influence a person's 24 hours. One person's 24 hours is not the same as another person's 24 hours. So I'm just saying that if you are actually passionate about something, then prioritize it. Keep it on the top of your list, and you know, you will find time somehow to do it. And obviously, I know I shouldn't be like under self-care and all. You shouldn't be, talking about this, but like pulling all-nighters and staying up till like 4 a.m. That's how most of my work gets done. So yeah.
Okay, Malvika, I will see you next time after you're a globally established brand, founder of Informed Inquirer.
Thank you for saying that. I'll see you next time. Maybe I'll hear you on the radio. Yeah, I'll hear you with your own podcast channel there.
Girl's been on the radio already as well.
Best of luck for your venture. I think it's amazing.
Don't forget your old friend on the Change Series podcast.
Don't forget me. All right.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
By the way, if you're wondering why I was wearing shades throughout the episode, it's because the podcast future is really bright. See you in the next episode.